Wild West, Last Stand. After the Battle of the Potomac, Leonidas made it to the White House where the remnants of the U.S. Army was held up. Lincoln got word that Widowmaker's army had to go around the Potomac because they couldn't swim and every bridge in Washington had been destroyed. Lincoln knew that bought them some time to prep their final stand on Pennsylvania Avenue. President Lincoln appointed Leonidas as his new top general to lead setting up the defenses, and Leonidas worked his tail off to build whatever kind of defenses they could around Pennsylvania Avenue. Finally, Widowmaker showed up. But then the darndest thing happened. Every zombie and even Widowmaker collapsed to the ground as if they just fell asleep. U.S. Army soldiers looked upon the battlefield in disbelief. They thanked God for this miracle. Leonidas was also in disbelief until a witch from the frontier approached him and explained that she had put a sleep spell on Widowmaker and his army, but she couldn't hold it for long. She explained how Widowmaker was a curse that came upon the land every 200 years, and that Widowmaker could only be killed by a spear enchanted by the witch's magic. The witch vanished after she gave Leonidas the spear. President Lincoln organized the U.S. High Command within the White House as his soldiers prayed to God for mercy. Leonidas prepped for what he believed would be his final battle, soldiers looking at him as a legend in his own right. Once the witch's sleep spell wore off, Widowmaker and his army rose back from hell. Then they charged. Leonidas and the U.S. Army fought like hell, with every inch of heroism and balls they could muster. As they slaughtered wave after wave of the undead, they wondered when the horde ended. President Lincoln watched as his best soldiers began to become overwhelmed by the horde, and as they rushed the White House itself. Like every other battle, it seemed that the darkness ahead was too much to circumvent. The undead and Widowmaker began breaking U.S. lines, and the end seemed near. As the U.S. forces fell, Leonidas found himself battered and beaten. He was cornered by Widowmaker and the undead horde, the end in sight, until out of nowhere someone else, yielding an enchanted spear, stabbed Widowmaker. Then he landed another killing blow on Widowmaker to finish the job. To everyone's joy, after being stabbed, Widowmaker fell to his knees and disintegrated into the atmosphere, along with everyone in his undead army. To his surprise, it was old Climactic who was Leonidas's saving grace that day. Climactic explained that on his journey out west, a witch approached him with the enchanted spear and told him to go to Washington to kill Widowmaker. Then the witch appeared to both of them and told Leonidas about how she fell in love with Climactic and wanted to save his world. Then Climactic and the witch disappeared into a magic cloud, never to be seen again. Leonidas was confused as hell, but he was relieved that the U.S. was saved. Lincoln appointed Leonidas as Secretary of Defense following the battle. Leonidas helped Washington rebuild, then Lincoln tasked him with helping to rebuild the frontier. As Leonidas rode back out west, he knew that one storm was over, but that a new storm is always on the horizon. This is the end of Book 1. Thanks for tuning in to the Wild West. This is Raleighwood.